Hello, everyone. My name is Julián Balanta. I'm an editorial board member of the HubLE, and I'm here on behalf of HubLE actually to interview Alison Flehr, which is presenting her work in the ANC BMS 2021 annual meeting. So, hello, Alison, and can you please introduce yourself to the HubLE audience, please?
Hi, so yes, Alison Flehr. I'm a clinical trials project coordinator for the Bone Health and Fracture Group at Mary MacKillop Institute of Health Research at Australian Catholic University.
Thank you so much. Alison, can you please tell us about your presentation?
Certainly. So at the ANZ BMS, I'm presenting two posters. One poster is the study design poster for our osteoprep study. And it's a 12-month probiotic supplementation study for women, looking at bone health in women, postmenopausal women.
Okay.
And the second poster is the work conducted by the program leader, the bone health and fracture leader, Matthias Lorentzen in Sweden. His team looked at a novel method to measure bone marrow fat in older women using HRPQCT.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for telling us about that. Can you please explain your key findings of both posters, please?
Certainly. So regarding the osteoprep poster, as we're just about to start, I'll get back to you in maybe 12, 18 months' time. But just to let you know, the study, due to the ubiquitous impacts of gut and bone health on other things, we're actually looking at a range of measures, including cognition and mood and well-being, cardiovascular outcomes, glucose tolerance. So it's going to be quite the interesting and well-rounded study. Regarding the BMAT, the bone marrow adipose tissue poster, using the novel method derived by to estimate bone marrow fat by HRPQCT, we're actually able to explain 76% of the variation in the bone marrow fat of the ultradistal tibia region as measured by MRI.
Okay. So, Alison, what are the big implications of your work, in terms of what can add to the scientific work and as well to the health of our communities?
Certainly. So with the osteoprep study, it could be as simple as a daily probiotic supplementation could be protective against bone loss, the bone loss that you see in postmenopausal women.
Sure.
So that would be a really interesting and accessible outcome. And then regarding the BMAT, the HRPQC novel method, it can be used for future studies to look at the associations of BMAT with osteoporosis or fracture risk.
Oh, that's great. Actually, I myself, at this moment, I'm a postdoctoral fellowship here in the Indiana University School of Medicine. And we are really interested in the musculoskeletal health, especially during several processes. I am a dentist, so I'm really interested in working with the maxillofacial area, craniofacial bones as a biomarkers. So in this case, what comes next with your work? You are planning to write a paper, maybe a grant, or what's next in your career?
So, the next 12 to 18 months, I'll be pretty much just, completing the osteoprep study, then obviously analysing it and writing it up and hopefully getting it published in, JAMA or, New England Journal or something like that, if you want to be like totally ambitious. We're certainly going to be looking at, maybe submitting some grants because we want to look at blood metabolomics and stool bacterial genomics and things like that to do with the osteoprep outcomes. And then obviously thinking about perhaps the next bone health study, and my PhD was actually in looking at chronic pain from a traumatic stress disorder perspective. And I'd be super interested to actually be able to see if there are sort of chronic pain and traumatic stress impacts on bone health and fracture risk.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, Alison, thank you so much for sharing us all this information. It's really valuable. Is there any social media that you use that what we can share with the HubLE audience in order to communicate with you for the research or interest?
Certainly. So, I mean, apart from the web pages at the Mary MacKillop, just to explain the bone health and fracture program and to give an overview of the research and the team, I'm on Twitter, and it's just, my handle is just at Alison Flehr. Yeah, so they're probably, anybody can reach out to me via Twitter at any time.
Oh, that's great. Alison, thanks so much again for sharing with us your results. We wish the best in the ANC BMS 2021. Thank you so much for having.
Thank you for having me.